What's going on, YouTube? Darksword255 here, where the numbers may be randomly generated, but the content itself is not. And we are doing an account takeover for General Kenobi. And he asked me if I could help him make a better full auto Hydra team. And I said, just sit back and watch me help you out. So initially when I jumped on the account, and let's go ahead and quickly just take a quick little look-see. He does not have a lot of different champions, but he has the right champions for us to be able to hit hard Hydra and normal Hydra at least. We're just going to have to MacGyver a lot of these different things here. To become part of my team, click the link in the description right now to get Elenaril for free, as well as 3 more amazing epic champions as you level up. Here's how you do it. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall it. Click the link in the description, register with a brand new email, launch raid, and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on this chance to get a free Elenaril along with 3 epics as you progress through raid. Click on my link right now and let's get started. Now, when I do a takeover like this is a couple things that I end up doing depending on where you are in the game. Let's say again, we're going to be using Hydra as an example. I first go over to Hell Hades stage tool because this will give you a very important information. Also, using the artifact extractor is extremely helpful for building these champions out. There are people who can do this off the cusp. I don't know how they do it, but they can do it. So again, we're going to be utilizing this tool, and the reason we want to utilize this tool over utilizing like when you go to upload on the artifact and reading the bar right there is it doesn't give you all of the stats that you need, but using this tool does. So let's go ahead and get these stats. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Hydra. We are then going to go to, I think this is rotation 3, and we are going to go for hard. Boom. Now we have all of the stats that we need to build our champions to make sure that they can survive. Now, something that you should do if you're working on an account progression, right? What you should first do, there are obviously baby steps to knocking down Hydra, even normal Hydra, finishing normal Hydra, moving up to the next stage to hard Hydra, so on and so forth. Number 1, obviously doing enough damage to get, the keys, right? And that's gonna be a consortium of different champions that will help you do that. But what is initially more important, guys, is utilizing, you need to be able to land your debuffs. So utilizing and looking at the resistance for all of these Hydra heads. The most resistance that they will have is 215, meaning all of our champions that we need to land debuffs need to have more than 215 accuracy. Now, on the flip side, Hydra is going to be dropping a lot of debuffs on you. So what do you need to do in the inverse? Well, you have 2 different ways to build your champions, guys. Initially, what you want to do, if you cannot get the resistance stats that you need, which you won't at the start of the game or as you progress, you want to aim to just be tanky. You want a lot of HP and a lot of defense and then revivers, and you just are basically tanking all of the damage and debuffs that are going to be dropped on your face. So that's one strategy. Number 2, when you're a little bit more developed and you're Grand Hall, you've been playing the game for a while and you have the gear to build this, building the resistance up so the heads do not land any debuffs is very important. Obviously, the later stages of the game when you're going to Nightmare, Ultra Nightmare, Brutal, so on and so forth. I don't know why I said Ultra Nightmare. Anyways, imagine that would be so cool if there's like an Ultra Nightmare Hydra and it was just like all like red, like all the heads were like mythical heads. Anyways, I digress. So the second option is you need to build your resistance enough that the enemy Hydra heads do not land their debuffs. For example, Head of Wrath puts a taunt down. Head of Blight puts down the poisons on everybody. The Head of Mischief this rotation has 415 resistance, right? So if you want to make sure your buffs are not stolen and then spread across all the Hydra heads, you need to make sure that your resistance is higher than 415. But for the most part, we're going to be a little bit of RNG and we're just going to aim for the primary rotation right here. Now, if you can get these resistance stats, then none of their heads are going to be able to put any debuffs on you. So, I mean, that's the ultimate end with how you want to layer your builds for Hydra. First, you want to be able to do the damage. Second, you want to obviously either tank all of the damage. You need to have somebody to tank, revive, and heal. If you are a little bit more developed, you can skip that and mainly aim for resisting a lot of the debuffs and having like 1 or 2 healers, somebody who either cleanses or or just is like really good at reviving. You can go with that avenue anyways. So now that we looked at all of the stats that the Hydra is going to be dropping, we are going to then look at all of his champions. And I know that my face is blocking some of the stuff here, but he does not have a lot of champions. And this is obviously just in the main vault. If we look at his champion vault, he has nothing in the main vault. None of the champions here are going to be adding any value to Hydra. So this is what I ended up doing. And again, guys, when you're making Hydra teams and you're progressing from, doing normal Hydra and then working your way up, these are some easy ways to help progress. Number 1, you absolutely almost need a taunter, especially early on. There are a variety of champions, even down to rare champions. If you're really that down bad and don't have a taunter, Gnarlhorn is a 1-turn taunt. Is he great? You're only going to be using him for the taunt. He's not really, that's about it. If you're really that down bad, you get Visix also for free the longer you play the game, guys. I think it's like 200 something days. I'm not 100. It's been so long since I've unlocked Visix. Don't quote me on that, but she has a taunt as well. There's like I said, there's a variety of different champions. You could also put provoke gear down on one of your champions, and that gives you a chance of provoking the boss. Those are some ways. So number 1, you want a provoker. Number 2, obviously you want a damage dealer. Number 3, if you can have somebody who's placing Hex. Mithrala is a free champion. After you farm a bit of Hydra, you'll be able to unlock her. Alternatively, you put somebody in a Hex set that is doing AoE damage. That is important because the Hex that you're putting down on everybody, that is the only way to directly attack the Head of Mischief. I mean, it has a high diversion chance, but with Hex on the Head of Mischief, you will 100% be able to not be diverted. So that's why Hex is important. You do spread damage with everybody who has Hex. So another reason that Hex is very important. Mithrala is great also because she's also adding a lot of really important buffs. Now, on top of that, obviously, we want somebody who's placing a block buff on all of the Hydra heads, because the Head of Blight, for example, is dropping a poison cloud, and the poison cloud guarantees that you weak hit. So if you can block the Head of Blight from putting down that poison cloud, then you will 100%, you'll never be able to weak hit. Not weak hit. Sorry, my terminology is weird. So let's go ahead, guys. And I showed you the champions that he had. I'm going to jump into the team, and I'll again explain what everybody's role is in the team. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna have to obviously my face is a little bit in the way here. So we have in the lead Visix. Her aura doesn't really work here, but that's fine. We have her in the lead. You could put Mithrala in the lead. Retrodrath isn't. Her aura doesn't work here either. So really, kind of Mithrala should be the lead. But again, regardless. So how did we build Visix here? So we have Visix built 369 resistance and obviously 230 accuracy. The only really big buff that she's going to be putting down is the taunt, as well as the decreased speed from her A2. Now, when you're progressing through the game, burns are more and more important because they're HP percentage burns. So the higher HP the target has, the more damage the burns are going to do. So that's why I ended up using Ardak here. Using Ardak's A3 puts a HP burn on everybody, and then his A2 basically detonates that, and his A1, when it goes off, it's an AoE, and it also has a chance of extending those burns. So we have him in 368 resistance, 254 accuracy. So he's absolutely going to be able to land all of his HP burns. He's going to be able to resist basically everything, which is amazing. So he is pretty strong. Now, like I alluded to earlier, we have Mithrala here. We have her with low resistance because her passive gives her basically as much, whatever her accuracy is how much resistance she has. So she has plenty of resistance here. 256 speed, so she's moving pretty decently fast here. The Hydras move at 200 speed and below, so as long as you're over that 2 200, 230 speed, you know, you're fine. You know, you don't have to really worry about it. Moving over to Ninja, and I know my face is blocking it. Ninja, I did not end up going with resist because we were going to lose so much damage. And since he's our main damage dealer on this team, I mainly focused on having him do damage. He is in a Savage set, so he's going to be able to do a lot of penetration, basically damage through all of the heads, you know, putting his A2 down first and then his A3, the A3 resets his A2 for 1 turn. Pretty good damage, and also its A1 decreased defense, and you know, decent accuracy, 287. I mean, you're gonna land all your stuff with Ninja easily right here. Now moving over to Rector. Now guys, if you're a brand new account and you've used a lot of those new player codes, you should have her. The reason that we're using her is for 2 different reasons. Number 1, we are using her obviously for the heal and the revive, but what's even more important is she has perfect veil. And why is that important? So throughout of all the Hydra rotations, it depends on, you know, which rotation, there is a Hydra head called the Head of Torment. And the Head of Torment is when you attack the Head of Torment, it puts a true fear on you if you do not have a perfect veil on your champions. So the design of Rector Drath is she goes first and puts down the perfect veil on everybody, meaning that if the Head of Torment attacks, then, or you guys attack the Head of Torment, then you're not getting hit with that true fear. The true fear is so unfathomably annoying. It messes up your rotation. There'll be a time that, you know, you'll need to have Visix put a taunt, and she'll have the true fear miss the taunt, and then your run is just totally over. So having her fast is great. She is a little bit low HP. You really want her to be at like 60 to 70k HP, but I really, again, wanted her to not have to get taunted, her not to get hit with any of the poisons, you know. So this is okay. She can heal herself pretty well. I would have loved to have had her in either a Relentless set or a Merciless set, but this account doesn't have a huge variety of gear for me to do that. So we have her just built for basically for stats. And finally, guys, we have Ugo here, and Ugo is amazing. She is putting down block buffs and decreased defense, as well as she can heal. And in a pinch, if all of your guys are dead other than Ugo, she can absolutely revive all dead allies. So, you know, again, that's in a pinch. We have her with plenty of resistance here, guys. 265 accuracy will land all of our debuffs, which, like I said, it's definitely very important that we're landing, especially the block buffs from the Head of Torment that puts the poison cloud down, so you can, you know, hit everybody. Super important, guys. I'm actually pretty surprised that we were able to get these stats. Initially, when I was looking at his account, I was like, okay, we're just gonna have to build champions to just be able to just brute force tank this. But I want to show you guys, before I show you the run, his great haul, just so it can hopefully elaborate, you know, how much easier it is to build your champions because of the great haul. Alrighty, guys, so as you can see here, he has a lot of his, you know, a lot of his great haul is decently developed here, but the main things that he does have a lot of points in is this accuracy right here, right? So if we're able to get up to 10 level 10 in accuracy, we're getting an additional 80 accuracy on all champions at our, you know, if we, let's just say these are all 10 on all champions. On all champions, you'll get plus 10. Obviously, for this one right now, he's only getting that plus 80 for any magic affinity champions. But in my opinion, and I think it depends on who you ask, in my opinion, the best thing to do here, guys, is to max out your accuracy and then max out your resistance. In my opinion, it just makes building all of your champions so much easier. And then you can just deal, you know, you can go with other, you know, other things like crit damage, HP, defense. It depends on really where you are. Make sure that you guys are doing your live arena. Look at this. Look at all of the additional accuracy and stats that we can be getting if we're constantly doing live arena. Obviously, it depends on, you know, he's in gold, so he's able to, you know, really progress as, you know, as all the way down here. But, you know, plus 8 speed, plus 16 accuracy, more defense. And these are stats that just make building your champions so much easier, even if you don't have the greatest gear. So that's just a quick little tip, guys, to help you progress in Hydra. So let's go ahead, guys, and jump over to the run, and let's go ahead and see the results. So as you guys can see here, I just finished the Hydra run and we did 22.5 million damage, and going from a lot of RNG to barely being able to complete hard on manual, we were able to do a full auto run here, guys. So that is a huge improvement for the account. Alrighty guys, I am super excited to have been able to build this team for General Kenobi here. Now, a couple caveats: we didn't really have that much silver building it, so could I have built it better? Yes. I didn't really have a lot of silver. He hasn't really been focusing on faction wars, so I'm going to give him some feedback to help him with his account progression. But I hope that you found this video helpful, guys. If you have not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I will see everybody in the next video.